Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. Welcome to the Chicken Steak Podcast. I'm your host, Bruno, and with some slight changes, I have a new co-host.
I am David. Hello, how you doing?
So basically, okay, we gotta stop talking over each other.
Yeah, this is gonna go greatly. Sorry, go on.
Basically, Alexis decided that he does not wish to continue the podcast for personal reasons. And after some searching, I found this man behind a dumpster begging for food.
Yes, hello, I am the dumpster baby that requires food. It's a pleasure to meet you. No, but pretty shortly, it's like, my name's David. I've known Bruno for quite a while. I've been off the internet since, I don't know, over half a year now.
Since last May.
Since last May, yeah. Because of the entire fucking COVID situation. And oof. Everybody was very glad when I came back.
Yeah, we're all happy to have you back.
Yeah. So, my return has been incredible. I was missed. Everybody missed me. It's been hell, pretty much. Whilst I've been gone. No, but pretty much like, I started off the year last year with I'm gonna move in with my SO now, so this is gonna be fun, and it took us a damn sweet time, and the running joke in the Discord we're in was that apparently I was moving spoon by spoon.
Well, no. First off, it started off that we were like, okay, he's taking some time. He's probably moving in chair by chair.
Yeah.
And then we moved on to forks, then to spoons. You know, it's like it took you a while.
So yeah, no.
So you told us you started moving in September.
Yes. So
and then
you heard nothing from me, and the few people I have on Twitter obviously was the only one who knew that I was still alive and active, because the only time I had on like my free time or when I was at work was when I was on Twitter. Just spewing out absolute nonsense, stuff like that. So my Twitter's cursed, and I love it because of it.
But what would you say is like the thing you missed the most about like hanging out with everybody and just being on the internet?
Mostly the social interaction, I would say, because it's been pretty lonely. Yes, I live with a girlfriend, but even after a time, and she said it out loud, I think we were talking a few days ago, and you heard her screams like, "Yes, please, I love you and all, but damn, I would love some alone time too." Because we live in 1.5 room apartment. We have a separate kitchen, and our living room is also the bedroom. So the space where we could exist on is very limited. Bruno's the only one who can see it right now, but behind me is the couch, and next to me is the TV. So it's been hard to try to justify the time to be online and talk to people, whilst my girlfriend has also been here.
Well, yeah, because it's like a shared space.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been pretty weird. It feels like I ignore her and push her away, which is not what it should feel like, but semantics pretty much.
I understand the feeling.
Yeah, no, and then work has been pretty much kicking my ass, and gonna go in quickly on that. I work in a hospital, and more specifically, I now work in a COVID ward, and my work there is pretty much I do all the cleaning. I take care of the food service, so all the patients get their food. And yeah, it's been rough. To break it down a little bit more, like we have green zone, yellow zone, and red zone. Red zone, you have to wear full gear, which is long sleeve.
Like a full hazmat suit?
No, we don't wear hazmat suits. We wear full, one-time use, what do we call apron? Not aprons, but like plastic protection, long-armed, gloves, mask, and a visor over that. So it takes a solid amount of time to clean a room and then go around like that, because I think we have 17 patient rooms. That takes a darn long time.
Jeez. And I can also imagine that everyone's like in the workspace is like slightly tense and slightly scared because it's like the whole pandemic in the world. Like people usually sit at home and they're like, "Oh, I worry that I'll get sick," but you're literally interacting with it day by day.
Yeah, it's been kind of funny because the first time we got to know that we were becoming a COVID ward, all of the nurses started talking. I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to work here, and it got to the point where I started to get very irritated. I was like, yeah, I just should just leave right now, not listen to this, because people have been working since the year before, since 2019 with this shit, and still are working with this, and you're bitching about this right now. You picked a career where you have to take care of people, and no, it's started to bug me quite hard on that part. And eventually, when we became a COVID ward, they had to do some smaller renovation, check that the air conditioning wasn't working too good, sort of. I'm gonna explain this quickly. In the city where I live right now, in the hospital, one of the wards, they realized that they had an outbreak there, and they realized that there were COVID in the ventilation because they hadn't really checked how well it was and cleaned it out and stuff like that. So they had to check all the ventilation on the entire ward before they could allow us to become a COVID ward.
Basically, you have to like synthesize everything, like clean everything and all that.
Yeah. So we had to prepare
Sanitize
everything.
them,
Yeah, sanitize, not synthesize. Fucking, and they had to get all the materials. We weren't allowed to open up the ward, obviously, without having enough gear and stuff like that. Otherwise, it would be irresponsible for everyone. And the good part, though, is my ward has been the only one that's not had an outbreak, as in beforehand in this case. Like, in the building I work in, all the other wards have had minor outbreaks where a patient to what called nurse have been infected, and the
ratio.
Yeah, the ratio has been pretty high on the rest of it. We are the only ward that haven't had an outbreak like that. We had positive cases beforehand, but in this case, it's been contained. Like nobody else outside has been infected, and it's spread. So that's very nice to know. Also, now they've implemented faster tests, like the you take it and you have to wait 15 minutes, and then you have a result if it's positive or negative. And if it's positive, you have to go home for the day, and you have to wait a week, even if you are without symptoms, because that's a very true, like a real thing. And touching quickly off it, in I think mid-August or something like that, I actually contracted COVID. It was unconfirmed because I couldn't take the test, because for 3 days you need to take the test to see if you're positive. I only had a headache during those 3 days. So I thought, oh well, it's just a headache, it's fine. Then I started to have difficulty breathing, and I was at the time in the so-called people that had higher risks of contracting this, because I was a smoker. I was overweight and stuff like that. And I remember, I think the 5th day in isolation, I was like, oh, I really want to smoke. I went outside on my balcony and grabbed a smoke, and fuck me, it was one of the worst decisions ever.
Oh, Jesus.
I took one drag and I was like, oh, this is terrible. Why have I done this to myself? So that's the day I decided to quit smoking. And now I've picked up another habit instead, which for the very few people who live in Sweden is called snus.
Oh.
So, yeah. How the fuck do I
I
describe
always
it?
I always meant to try snus, but it's like, it feels like, well, from what I've heard, the like way you can fuck up your teeth is even worse than with just cigarettes.
That depends on the type of snus you're using too, because there is loose snus, there is portion packed, and in the portion packed there are two types. There are the regular one, and then there is white. The white one is a lot more. It doesn't drip as much as the package or the loose one, and those two are the main factors why a lot of people get stained teeth. The white one burns a lot more, but it doesn't drip as much, which is very nice. And I'm going with white because I actually do not enjoy the drip. It's like
Respect the drip, dude.
I can respect the drip. I will, but this is one drip I won't. So no, that's been my past half year. It's just working on the goddamn COVID ward, and they're planning on opening another one above us. The funny thing though is that we've taken their personnel into our ward, so they don't have enough people for it. So they have to recruit more people from the outside to work there.
It's like a pyramid scheme.
It's so dumb. Yeah, it's like, oh, we're opening it up. We're gonna have like 24 patients. We gotta need more staff. Let's take the staff from the ward above us because they are not taking in any more patients at the moment because of the entire situation. And then I was like, oh yeah, they are also gonna become a COVID ward. And the people that are working with us go like, that is really fucking dumb. It's like, we're here. What the fuck are we supposed to do? We can't split up. Oh well, enough about COVID. God damn it. It's
I mean, it's kind of hard not to talk about it since
Yeah.
like everyone interacts with it every day.
yeah, no, but as I was saying in the beginning, the part that I missed the most is the social interaction, and getting back to Discord has been kind of hard. Because the little time I have free, I would like to spend with my girlfriend, obviously. And because she's in between jobs, the only time she sees me is when I get home. And if I work late, we pretty much interact around 3 hours a day for a week. And it's kind of sucks. But considering that we've been together 9.5 years, it's part of it. We live.
I mean, it's also the fact that you just went through the whole long distance thing as well.
Oh yeah. Her being in Scotland for 3 years was it was difficult, but we made it work, obviously. But it's also because we were together before we did the long distance thing. Starting off a relationship long distance, I can imagine, is really hard.
That has to be a mess.
No, it's like I think that's a main benefactor why a lot of people in relationship why they doesn't make it work is because they have that long distance. Like the few times they can meet are like maybe once a week if they're lucky, maybe twice a month.
And it's also the fact that the times you meet up, it's not always guaranteed that it's going to be a long time. It could
Yeah,
be just
yeah.
like 2 hours or something.
For example, if I was living in another part in Sweden, it's a lot easier. But in this case, it was in Scotland. It takes like 3 to 4 hours to get there. It's not that terrible, but it costs money.
Yeah.
Money that I didn't have.
And also, traveling is just a hassle.
Yeah, well, I don't think for myself I really like flying and stuff like that, but getting to where she was could sometimes be a struggle because the few flights those flights that I took, usually I would arrive at around 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning. I would arrive to her city, which was Dundee. For the few that knows what that is, it's like an hour away from Edinburgh. So it took some time to get there. And then I obviously had to take an early flight because usually I had to be back the next day at work or something like that, whatever it would be. But no, that's been my time, and then the the current COVID world.
Yeah,
we have.
the past year, pretty much.
Yeah, it's sucked.
I mean, I've had my fair share of it. As listeners of the podcast will remember that I mentioned that recently in December, I think. I think it was in December.
Hmm.
I basically, since I work as an intern in the office, there was a situation where one of the other interns had contracted COVID,
I
and
was listening to
apparently
the past one of Pascal podcasts, and I heard you speak about that.
Yeah, where I had to pretty much, just because I interacted with him, I wasn't sick,
Yeah.
but I still had to sit at home for 2 weeks.
Jeez,
And
yeah.
now,
Hmm.
since the situation in our country is awful, they just decided all interns have to work from home. So for an indefinite time, maybe till even my internship ends in March, I might just be working from home, which is both a blessing and a curse. Like, it's great that I don't have to go anywhere, especially in this awful winter weather. But it's also the fact that it's inconvenient because there's so many things I have to do in the office often when I work. And also the fact that it kind of sucks when your home becomes your workspace environment. Because for me, I have this, like, when I'm at work, I go into my work mentality. So I switch on work mode, I go serious, I focus on my work most of the time.
Yeah. Well, if you're not playing ping pong, obviously.
Yeah.
Or
But when I'm at home, I switch off and I go into like chill out mode and just relax and don't think about work. But when my chill space becomes my workspace, it's a constant like tussle in my head.
Yeah, no, I can understand it. Like that switch has been very hard for a lot of people. And I remember very early on when the Swedish government came out and said, for the people who can work from home, please work from home. And I was like, how the fuck am I going to do that? I was like, what am I supposed to do? I have to go to work. I have no other choice. And then our bus services decided to go like, oh, we're going to lower down the amount of buses that go around and stuff like that. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Ugh, just been.
It's been a mess everywhere.
Oh yeah, no, fucking hell. But I think the biggest reason why a lot of companies have been going around in Sweden is because the Swedish mentality is really. If the government come out with a recommendation, the Swedish people will usually take the recommendation to heart, like almost like a law. So if they say, please don't. Be too crowded in these areas. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Please use disinfectant. Respect the rules of the local supermarket, stuff like that. And it's halted a lot of the spread. We still have a high what's it called sickness to per capita. Like the amount of people that have been sick. Has been pretty high, but it's not destroyed our economy in the same way as it's done for a lot of countries. Looking at you, UK, going into their third lockdown, technically their fifth unofficial lockdown.
Okay, moving on from reminiscence of the past and complaints about COVID. I think we kind of want to talk a little about, like, kind of spitball our ideas for the future of the podcast, mainly what we want to do with it, and, like, ideas for this year. Because, first off, I wanted to bring up the idea that later on we might, like, diverge in our content, maybe do some streams on the side where, for example, one of us or both of us are playing a game, or if one of us is playing a game, the other one's just, like, interacting with chat or just commentating and... Like, basically creating more content for all you viewers and listeners to enjoy.
All the 8 people.
Well, for now.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, think about it. Maybe in years we'll have 20 people listening.
So, I read a pretty funny statistic. Like, the majority of podcasts that people that start off podcasts usually don't get past episode 3. Or if it was like 5 or something like that. So technically we passed that.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, surprisingly somehow. And with the new year around the corner and stuff like that, we hope that it will return to some type of normality. And yeah, no, that would sound pretty fun. Like starting to do... Mostly I miss like playing games with other people.
Yeah.
Like dumbass banter you can have in while playing with somebody else. I really miss, and I think that could benefit a lot right now, at least. What the fuck is that? Sorry, phone.
It also helps most people take their mind off the situation in the world.
I mean, putting it simply, I've because I have wireless headphones or in ears or whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Earbuds.
Weird flex, whatever. Yes. I've been listening to podcasts while I work. So, for example, yesterday I was listening to the Chicken Steak podcast because I need to catch up to see what the fuck I've been missing out. So I wouldn't bring
to
up
know what
any...
you're signing up for.
Yeah, not only what I was signing up to, but also so I wouldn't bring in topics that have already been discussed, even though you changed the co-host now.
Yeah.
It's not always the funniest thing to listen to the same topic 3 times over.
True.
But other plans, like, we had a little bit of struggles to see what the fuck we were gonna do with this episode, because I haven't done a podcast before, and because I've been out of it for a while, me and Bruno didn't really know what to bring up in this. Because we have a good dynamic, but usually it boils down to us just rambling or being super into a very specific thing.
Yeah, which most likely will happen, if not today, then in later episodes.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I think, like, us putting at least something in, like, spanning out from the idea to see what we could do about that would be a good idea, obviously.
And the other thing I wanted to bring up, like, as an idea for a podcast is this year, not maybe so soon, but maybe later on during the, I don't know, the summer period, the autumn period, I want to try bring on some people as guests for episodes.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, people we know and so on and so forth. So it's like we kind of have like a divergence in some episodes where it's like different because we have this new point of interaction, this new mind that can add in ideas and topics and stuff.
Yeah, and also the dynamic between 3 people could also create a lot of more fun discussions than you and me, because you lately obviously becoming more passive when it comes to arguments, which is a good thing considering that you used to be very headstrong with it. Like, you wouldn't back down whatsoever, and you just dug your hole deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
And the running joke me and Bruno have is that he is pretty much a younger version of me, and it's very funny because we both have our webcams on right now, and he also started to grow a beard. I have a magnificent beard that's been growing since I was 15. And he's also bald. I accidentally ripped out my webcam because I'm an idiot. But it's a lot of similarities in between how we've acted and act that makes our dynamic very, very fun to listen to. I guess. I don't know, like,
here we go, rambling on again.
yeah. Like I said, I have been talking to a lot of people in the past few months, except D&D.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss D&D so much.
Okay. You wanted to talk about your experience. Well, not your experience, but how you've seen the Twitter like environment change and go back to old things. And
yeah, so
I'll just let you take over this part.
Yeah, so because I've been a lot of work, the very few times I have any dead, like I can do whatever the fuck I want, or I can't do anything, I've been pretty much interacted a lot more on Twitter. I used to be very much against Twitter. I was a lot on Facebook, and then I just didn't use that social media whatsoever. And then on Instagram, same thing there. And I decided during 2020, I picked up Twitter again. Mostly to see my favorite creators, see what they were up to, and start to follow a lot more smaller creators, like art creators in this case. And it's been really fun seeing them evolve, and that obviously have led to me also for following controversial people and weird things, for example, out of context stuff and stuff like that. And for example, the current meme that's been going around, like after 7 years of GTA being out, now the Lamar and Franklin meme has resurfaced.
The yee ass haircut.
The GG ass haircut. And I don't know why it popped up again, and it's been a fucking roller coaster because I've seen so many different versions. I think the funniest one I've seen right now is Kiryu from the Yakuza series singing Bakamatai to Franklin. And it's been beautiful to watch, see that evolve and just. Oh my god, it's been incredible to see that happen. But obviously, because I've been on Twitter, I've also seen what's going on in the world. I've seen all the riots, all the especially the Capitol, the storming of the Capitol building. Which my first thought was, oh hey, I've seen this before. Wait, isn't this the Division 2?
Isn't this Fallout New Vegas?
Yeah. It's like,
everyone calling the barbarian guy Ulysses.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He doesn't talk the talk that Ulysses does. Man, I hated Ulysses.
I don't get the... Okay.
He's so far up his own ass.
But I thought that's like kind of the whole point of that character.
He talks so big. Also, I very recently... I found a little bit about the NPC Ulysses, and he is the only one that has all 10 in the special stats. He has full 10 in it, and this biggest reason why he is one of the hardest bosses, the unfunniest funniest boss to face ever, because it's like, oh, I'm just gonna use a stealth boy and I'm invisible. It's like, yeah, well, I can clearly still see you, but
no, you can't.
No, you can't. It's I just don't like him, most because of he being so up his own ass. It's like he's not an interesting character. He's been built up over all the DLCs too. Where they drop hints to him, and it's like, oh, it's been so incredible, especially in the Big MT, where you hear his voice for the first time, and it's like, oh, who is this? And it's just an utter disappointment. Eventually,
I guess the reason that I think I'm starting to realize why I don't hate the long road, the lonesome road. So first off, I know everyone's gonna hate me for this. I haven't played through all of the New Vegas DLCs. I have played through Lonesome Road. I have played through... What was it called?
Honest Hearts?
Honest Hearts. And did I play another DLC?
Have you played the Sierra Madre one?
I haven't played Sierra Madre, and I started Big MT, but I didn't get far in it. But basically, in my Fallout New Vegas experience, I've played like hundreds of hours of the base game. But the first DLC I beat was Lonesome Road. So, like, I had no context from the other DLCs. So I went into it blind, and I was like, oh, alright. It's kind of cool. The only thing I hated about that DLC is that it just spams death claws at you.
Yeah.
Mind you, I was, like, level 14 when I went into this fucking
And funny enough, if I remember correctly, it's recommended at the level 25, I think?
Something like
it's
that.
It's a very high
tough
level
time.
where it recommends you to enter. I've entered it at max level at 50, and I've still had a hard time.
The thing is, why I just loved it is because I love Eddie. And the whole, like, story of Eddie in Lonesome Road is, I think, very well done. And, like, the fact that Eddie sacrifices himself, but then you can, of course, save him. Ah.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's great. Speaking of post-apocalypse stuff, you and I got into a game quite recently.
I like the segue
Thank
into
you,
the next
thank
topic.
No, both me and Bruno, like, I got into a game called Wasteland 3, and
Yes.
I saw this game I think over a year ago when it was in early access. No, it was not even released yet. It was going to be released like a month after I saw a YouTuber play that game, and I really enjoyed what I saw, mostly because the comedy in it is really well made. Also, I really like that type of turn-based combat. It's like a mix of XCOM and Borderlands 2, if you could put it like a simpler.
I'd say like easier to understand for like the listeners at home is like it's like a very weird mix of the Fallout 1 and 2 and XCOM.
That's a better.
It takes the RPG systems of Fallout, but then it adds in like the combat and tactics of XCOM.
Then just sprinkle a bit of that Borderlands comedy. Not the third one, fuck that one. But no.
Well, yeah, it has that dark humor that Borderlands, Fallout, and like all these series are very well known for.
And I've been having a blast in that game. I don't know how many hours I put in. Let me check real quick.
I think you have like 50 something.
Almost 50 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I stopped playing it because I was in the very end of the game, and I just didn't really want to complete it just yet. I wanted to explore and do other stuff, but I realized I've done all the side quests that I could do, and they recently had a very big update, like a huge fucking update. Did you read the patch notes to that?
No, I have not.
Oh my god, I think it was like 3 pages long. It was
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it was a huge fucking update. I think the entire download was on around 15 gigs. It was a big update where they fixed a lot of the issues that were existing there that I really didn't see in the first time I played it. But then when I saw that in the patch notes, I was like, oh, that explains so fucking much. And a lot of balancing things too.
You've actually gotten a lot further in the game because I'm only 10 hours in. I've pretty much I've fully done the first little like town part.
Yeah.
With like the sheriff's office and all that, and I just moved into like the quarter where the matriarch, the patriarch is.
Oh, what?
No, the Ranger HQ. No. I did the tutorial there. I got my HQ.
Yeah.
And then I did like the town with like the casino and
Like and you
stuff.
did the farm thing because you got Lucia.
Yes. And now I've gotten into the part of the city where the patriarch has his house.
Where all the rich people live too.
Yeah, pretty much. I love that game. I love the storytelling in it. It's
so good.
It's very entertaining.
I was hooked. It's like it's been a while since I've been really pulled into a game, and sure, it's a bit harder to immerse yourself in a from a top view game, like a strategy game, but I've really loved that the experience because me and Bruno, this was ages ago, played Divinity.
Original Sin, the first one.
And we got, I think we are 2/3 of the game.
We were pretty far in the game.
Yeah, we got pretty far in the game, and we just dropped it. We realized we bottlenecked ourselves into, I don't know how, we managed to get very far, but we couldn't level up fast enough. So all the encounters we had after a certain point were just deadly. They were just almost impossible to succeed.
I think it's because we also like missed a lot of content because we kind of just because that game lets you be an idiot, which is a great thing. But in our case, we're really dumb. So
we like making dumb decisions, and it came back and bit us very hard in the ass. Unfortunately,
I mean, the best moment from our Divinity Let's Play playthrough. Was
very early
just
on?
in the beginning when we got to the town, and I'm just talking to the NPCs, browsing the shops. David walks into this clinic where we have a quest, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go talk to this." I'm like, "Okay, I'm browsing the shop." Suddenly, we get teleported through a vortex to the end of the world, and we're told that we have to save the universe from a universe-consuming dragon. And I was like, what did you do?
It's like
I left you for 5 minutes.
I was like, I just touched the stone. What the fuck? Because for the very few who play the game, you're sent to investigate a sorcerer, and not sorcerer like you think it's spelled. It's spelled like a source.
Well, yeah, because magic in that game is called source.
Yeah, so you're a sorcerer. It's dumb. It's really dumb how they try to get away with that. And just, oh hey, here's a magical stone, but it can only revive one of these two people, an old person and a young person. Who do you pick? I picked the young person. He has more to live with. Suddenly, as Bruno said, we're about to save the world. What?
Mind you, we were like an hour into the game.
We
had no idea what was
only
going
fought
on.
orcs, and that was it. And suddenly we have to save the universe, and we talked to some animals, because obviously I picked animal whisperer as one of my perks. And that was a fucking roller coaster.
It's like we have to beat it someday.
Yeah, I still think we should start fresh, because
I fully agree with that. I don't want to touch that save.
I miss Vesemir and whatever your character was named.
I remember you looked cool.
Yeah, I remember you being always against my decisions.
Well, yeah, so there's like that dynamic of like our characters clashing.
And if they're in the discussion, if you picked opposite choices, you have to do a rock paper scissors that none of us really were good at.
Yeah, so it was just like a 5 minute of each of us just failing at rock paper scissors against each other.
So yeah, no, I missed the game for what it was, but at the same time, not really. And I'm really wondering when we decide to throw ourselves into Wasteland 3, because it has co-op mode, how that is gonna work, because that's gonna be interesting. We're also gonna.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but I think, from my experience, I put 10 hours into the game. Playing on normal, the game feels way too easy. I think we need to like play on like the second hardest or hardest difficulty, because on normal the game is like brain dead easy.
No, it's because I played almost 50 hours. I think I started off on normal difficulty. The only tweak I added was friendly fire is on, because it sounded more fun, because I want to have them whoops you were too close moments, or I see no other outcome than just burn you down with the cluster of enemies you're surrounded by.
Oh my god, I have friendly fire on, and I love using the RPG. Because, well, usually I move all my characters away, and then I see like 6 enemies piled up, and then my main character, who I called Piotr, made him look like a Soviet soldier, and he's an expert leader and an expert in explosives. So just pulls out his RPG and just blasts them all in one shot.
My usual issue is that I have... Shut up, phone. My usual issue is that I had... Both my leaders have cone-based weapons. So
like shotguns.
Shotgun and flamethrower. And usually ended up that I downed a lot of my companions multiple times, because they were always surrounded. Because I built my team as a distant group. But the issue was that the only few, the shotgun and the flamethrower, were always in the back line. I don't know why I'd done those decisions. So I had to do a lot of respecking and stuff like that. It's I love that game. I really want to play it again.
We should. I think it'd be a fun experience. Okay, and then kind of segueing into the next topic.
The last topic.
Yeah. You wanted to discuss some of our drunk stories, because we have some good tales to say.
Yeah, so the biggest reason is because trying to come up with topics was like, we can talk about alcohol, and it's like, what is specific about alcohol? And drunk stories are always fun to bring up. I can start off with one of my not favorite, but one of the funnier ones. Where not funnier because it's in retrospect, I should really not have done that. This was really long ago, and I was at a friend's house, and we had like proper house party, no parents, nothing like that. And my friend's stepdad, not gonna go into very much detail, but because of his line of work, he owns a lot of antique stuff. And in the living room we're at, there were 2 antique police swords, or ceremonial police swords, where I didn't realize this until later, after fencing with these, that they were so old that they should belong in a museum. And I still get berated by my friends, like, I can't fucking believe, you should be lucky that he did not find out that you were fighting with those swords, because he would take you out back and shoot you like the dog you are.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god. That is one of
I think we'll like do story by story, so like you do one, I do one, you do one, I do one. Okay. So you've heard this story, but it's my favorite drug story to retell because it's the most retarded one I've ever had. So, me and my friends often like to have a little get-together where we play some board games, some video games, drink some alcohol, all that fun. One time we go to one of our friends' place, we hang out. We bought a good amount of alcohol, like some beer, some Baileys, some other stuff. And we bought a liter bottle of Jägermeister.
Oh.
You see, most of my friends there don't like Jägermeister. The only person that liked it is the person whose house we were at. So in the beginning, like, we were each doing like shot by shot, and we have this like ongoing joke, like, since Jägermeister kind of tastes like a weird cough syrup.
Yeah.
We were just like, oh, dude, this cough is awful. Let's take a shot.
Yeah.
So we like each did like 3 or 4 shots, and we got like through like 1/4 of the bottle. So 3/4 was still in the bottle. And at that point, like, he stopped drinking Jaeger. I think he was drinking beer or something. And I just kept drinking Jaeger. And we didn't really have any snacks.
Oh, no.
We had, like, 1 or 2 bags of chips, but it was just not a lot.
But that's not enough snack.
We weren't prepared. So I just keep drinking the Jaeger. Everyone's having fun. The person sitting next to me is a light drinker. He doesn't really drink a lot. And when he does, it's like it doesn't take much for him to, like, get blasted. So he had like some stuff, not too much, and he basically had to go to the bathroom often to vomit because he doesn't handle alcohol well. And I just keep drinking, and I literally finished the bottle of Jaeger.
Oh no!
So I have like, let's say like 800 milliliters of Jaeger in my body.
Yeah.
I start feeling sick. Mind you, the person sitting next to me has taken up the bathroom, which he's vomiting in. Retrospectively, I didn't know my friend had 2 bathrooms.
Oh.
So this was my mistake, but I felt really sick, so I didn't even have time to think. So I'm like, oh, I feel really bad. I feel like I'm going to vomit. Oh, I don't want to vomit everywhere. I look on the table. In front of me is a cup that I was drinking Coke from. It's empty because I finished the Coke. I reach for the cup, vomit in it, put it on the table. Everyone starts laughing. The friend that's vomiting, his girlfriend is like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on? I feel wave 2 coming.
Oh no.
I see another cup. I take it. Vomit into that. Vomit on the table. Everyone's losing their mind. I lay, because I'm sitting on a couch.
Yeah.
I lay back on the couch like, I'm dying. My friend whose house we're at, I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. He's laughing his ass off. He doesn't care. He's like, I don't care. My mom will clean it up. I was like, I reach for my phone. I text my dad, come pick me up. I'm drunk. 5 minutes later, my dad shows up. My dad was drinking at his friend's place.
Oh no.
So his friend brought him here. Then his friend picked me up and him. Well, he was in the car already. Picked me up. My dad apologized to my friend. My friend's still like, it's fine. I get home, and I just pass out in the bed.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. To this day, my most ridiculous drunk story.
No. I have a lot of drunk stories, but I've forgotten them over the year because obviously I haven't been drinking as much. Full disclosure, I used to be... The running joke was that I was an alcoholic, which I technically actually was. No,
you had a drinking problem.
Yeah, I had a drinking problem, and obviously I managed to kick it pretty hard. That still doesn't mean that my body has gone back to like a normal level of what it can take in. So I can drink tolerate. Tolerate. Yeah. So I can tolerate quite a lot of alcohol. Which leads into my next story of me being at a wedding. And this is actually not me getting drunk and feeling awful. This is actually my girlfriend getting so shit-faced. Because I like to drink, mix my drinks very strong. And when I say very strong, I'm talking about half and half. Half booze, half mixer, pretty much.
Yeah.
She knows this, but because we're having a good time, we're at this wedding. It's a very good friend to me. We're drinking, we're having fun, we're talking. In the beginning of the reception, they served I think it was either champagne or cava. I don't really remember. And I found some more of it later on in the evening. I was like, oh, neat, that's sweet. I start drink it. I walk in and I talk to the person that is getting married's sister, and she's hugging a bottle of elderflower liqueur, which is very, very Swedish thing to drink. And I was like, oh man, I really want some. I was like looking around for a glass and while talking to her, and just give her my glass. Like, just pour it straight in here
instead of champagne.
No, it was half champagne, half flower liqueur. And I sipped it. I was like, oh no, this turned out really well. And I continue sipping it. My girlfriend sees me and goes like, where did you find that? I was like, yeah, no, I found it outside. She grabs it and chugs it. I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, I was thirsty too. It's like, and I was like, that was half liqueur. You're just like, oh no. Later on that evening, she's obviously continued drinking. Me too. They're serving coffee and other spirits. I grab rum. I think it was like amaretto and something called duplio, which is a dumble liqueur, so chocolate caramel liqueur. Mix it with coffee. I go outside and I start drinking a bit. I put it aside because I need to talk to somebody. I talked to a person for quite a while. I turn back around to grab my coffee, and I realize I can't find it. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I see my girlfriend with some other people just giggling. And I was like, where did my coffee go? And she shows me the cup, like holds it up, laughing, drinking. It's like, this is so nice. It's like, I tell her, I mix so much into that. She does this twice. Because I go in and mix another one for me. Then, later on, obviously, everybody started to get sauced. Pretty fucking sauced. Our last train got cancelled from the city we're at. Me, 3 a.m., very drunk, needs to coordinate a taxi for 7 people to get back to the city I live in. Managed to ramble together, everybody, drunk, obviously. When we get to the city, we had to walk back home. I've never seen my girlfriend so drunk in my entire life. She could barely walk.
Jesus.
She was leaning up against like a lamppost. People came around and asked, like, "Is she okay?" She was like, "Yeah, no, my boyfriend's over there."
Oh god.
She takes off her she can't remember anything from that goddamn night, and it's still one of my funniest memories because she wakes up the next day feeling absolute shit, still drunk obviously because there was so much alcohol in it. What she drunk, and I told her, "Do you remember anything from yesterday?" It's like, "I remember stealing your drinks," and I said, "Don't ever steal my drinks, not because I get mad, it's because your own safety." Because I almost had to carry you home because you were that drunk.
Oh god.
Oh my god. So that was fun. Obviously, she got very hungover and had to vomit the rest of the day away. She really don't enjoy that aftermath pretty much. Yes, nobody does.
I think for the last story, I'm gonna. So this is also not a story of me being drunk. It's a story of my close friend being drunk.
Oh no.
So I know this person since the first grade because we've been classmates since then forever. And it's the 9th grade, and here in Latvia, that's when you finish primary school. Let's say, like, it's hard to explain the whole system, but basically the first.
Our system are similar, but for everybody else, it's weird to try to explain it.
It's the first part of your education that's like obligatory. Everything past that is your own choice, and you're like 15 and 16 when you end this. We have our graduation party. Like our class rented out like a nice little house in like a forest with like a little pond next to it, and a sauna and all that stuff.
All that cozy shit.
And the thing, like, I don't know what it's called in English. It's like I guess it's like a big bath. It's like it's heated up.
Oh, it's not a hot tub.
Yeah, it's like
big
thing made of wood.
Yeah.
So basically,
we also have that in Sweden. I can't remember the English word for it.
We weren't supposed to have any alcohol because we're all underage.
Yeah.
But of course, there was alcohol. It was snuck in. There was some beer snuck in and a bottle of Absolute. And I at the time, I didn't drink alcohol yet. I was like, I am a good boy. I abstained from everything. And I didn't really mix well with the group that was like hanging out in the other room. So I was just chilling on my own, just hanging out. Meanwhile, my friend in the other room is partying to his heart's content. And he has 3 beers, which are all like 6% proof. And he has half of the liter bottle of Absolute vodka. He is 16. He has all this. He gets plastered. The first thing I remember that he did, I was chilling in the other room, and we have like laid out mattresses for like everyone to sleep in because there's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
He walks in, he's like, "Yo, man, how you doing? What's up?" And he's like, 2 of my other classmates are like going with him so he doesn't die and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like in a mellow mood. I was like, "Oh yeah, yo." He's like, "What?" He turns to one of the mattresses, picks them up. "Fuck you, man!" Yeets the mattress at me. I just started laughing. Yeah, my 2 classmates take him. I was like, "Okay, let's go." Then later, there's a very steep staircase.
Oh no.
Going downstairs. He, of course, starts walking downstairs, falls down the stairs. Luckily, he didn't injure himself, but it was hilarious. Then, he decided he wanted to go into the wooden hot tub thing. He didn't take off any of his clothes. His phone was in his pocket. So he's just relaxing in the hot tub, all happy. A lot of the people's parents were there with us, because, we're still kids.
Yeah.
His dad is there. And, like, his dad is a very serious person. Like, he has, like, almost this death stare.
Oh, no.
But he was so disappointed. He was just like, "I'm going home. See ya." He just drove home.
Wow, that's next level of like I am not gonna deal with my son right now.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered. I'm going
So
home.
my friend gets out. All his clothes are wet, and his phone is dead. And then I go to sleep. I sleep like 6 hours. I wake up at like I think I went to sleep pretty early, like 9. So I woke up at like 5 a.m. Everyone's still up partying. I go downstairs. People are playing Uno. People are playing cards. Everything. Around like 7, more people like, get up, and my friend hasn't slept all this time, and he's like clear. He's no longer drunk.
What?
And I talk to him, and he remembers everything. Yeah, and it's like, it's fun times. Then my dad comes to pick me up, and he also picks up one of my classmates and my friend. We go home. He goes home, passes out. When he wakes up, he didn't remember a single thing.
Wait, what? So he had a period of drunk
He came out of drunkenness, was clear, went home, passed out, and forgot everything. And to this day, he does not remember anything from that.
Fascinating. What the fuck?
So yeah, that's my final story of today. Damn. Okay, guys. It's been a very fun episode. We got our new co-host, David.
Yeet.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and the episodes that are to come. I have been your host, Bruno. With me has been my new co-host, David. We hope you enjoy this episode. See you guys later.